And so how does a 16-year-old girl with, from a communist country turn into an entrepreneur in Canada? Like, how does that happen?
I mean, it was a long journey, bro.
Yeah. But you must
Of
have
course
also
it was
had,
a long journey.
you must have had weird relationships with money as well, and watching your
Yeah.
parents and being in a country where, it didn't have like a capitalistic streak in it.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I'm sure
was-
people were hustling, but
It's very corrupted. A lot of entrepreneurship ideas or visions just get shut down because it's just a whole different structure of how people do things.
Right.
But in Canada, if you're an immigrant especially, I feel like the reason I'm emphasizing immigrant is because a lot of people who grew up in Canada or who were born in Canada, they're just so comfortable because they've always had this nice, comfortable life. But the immigrants that come into the country, they're hungry and eager. If you look around Toronto, for example, one of the biggest, if not the biggest city in Canada, most of the businesses are owned by immigrants. It's incredible. It's inspirational. These people came into the country not speaking the language. They had so many disadvantages if you compare them to a local. And yet they went through all this adversity and managed to create a successful business and employ other people. It blows my mind.
And why can they do that? How?
Why? Because they're used to adversity. Adversity is good. Looking back at my life, I never feel sorry for myself. I might have in the past, because I was maybe in that mentality a little bit of like, oh, poor me, how come I had this kind of childhood or upbringing, or how come we didn't have much financial freedom. But now, I wouldn't change anything because I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't appreciate the things I have. I wouldn't have worked as hard as I have. Becoming comfortable makes you complacent, and that's the worst thing because you just don't do anything. You're just like, meh, life's good. It's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to label it, but when you have a dream and you want something, it's not just going to happen. You have to work for it.